Regardless of the economic situation in Europe, the antiques industry in Russia is prospering. Art here is trendy. And for rich Russians, investing in antiques is a safe bet, as well as getting a guaranteed return on their investment. It's prestigious and it's beautiful. As a result of this, Greenpeace are campaigning for a worldwide ban, a complete ban on drilling for oil in the Arctic. They cite a report which they commissioned last year, which said that in the event of an oil spill in the Arctic, it would take just 20 hours for the area around an oil platform to become completely contaminated, whereas it would take up to 3 days for an emergency team to reach any of these Arctic oil platforms. Earlier this year, activists scaled the Shard skyscraper in London, the second highest skyscraper in Europe, to protest plans by the British-Dutch company Shell for drilling in the Arctic. So this is a campaign which is gaining momentum. Ask a Russian what comes out of Australia, and most likely they'll be hard pushed to tell you. The idea of this festival is to bring Muscovites a little taste of life down under.
What is Australia all about? There must be more to it than kangaroos, barbecues and beer. Epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, is a genetic skin disease which causes the skin to blister and fall off. There is no cure for EB, and most patients do not live beyond 40.
This is the reality of what it's like living with EB. Twice a day, Vera has to take Roman's bandages off and painstakingly put them on again. It's difficult to picture exactly what it's like living with EB, but on a bad day, imagine lying on a bed of nails or eating an ice cream with razor blades in it. And that's just the physical aspects of the disease. There is also a stigma attached to it, because even in 2013, so little is known about this illness.
Good evening, Edward. Now, first, I want to ask you, how has the situation changed in Russia in the last year?
Well, in the words of Vadim Pokrovsky, who is head of the Federal HIV/AIDS Treatment and Prevention Center here in Russia, he says Russia is spoiling world HIV/AIDS statistics. And what he means by that is that here in Russia, new infections are increasing at an astronomical rate, whereas in the rest of the world, they are either decreasing or they've stabilized.
If we take the case of a 21-year-old student from the Urals region, his name was Artyom Gorodilov. He was abducted by a gang of far-right extremists who called themselves Occupy Paedophilia. Their stated aim was to stop older men abusing younger boys. But if you look at the videos they've posted on YouTube, it's just straightforward homophobic bullying. So they abducted Artyom, took him to a graveyard, showed him the grave of their latest gay victim, and then made him carry the heavy wooden cross from the grave on his back while being chased by a car. The Russian climate is unique. It goes from plus 30 in the summer like today down to minus 30 in the winter. How will the park adapt to these unique characteristics?
I think Russians are, let's say, accustomed to these climate changes,